let's get into it. Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world one book at a time. All right, let's kick things off with a question that, really gets to the heart of what so many of us are feeling. Our economies are supposedly booming, right? We see all this innovation, all this growth, and yet for a huge number of people, it feels like they're just falling further behind. The gap between the super rich and, well, everyone else, it's not just a gap anymore, it's a canyon. So what gives? So the story we're usually told is that, well, this is just how it is. It's the natural result of capitalism, an unavoidable side effect of how a modern economy works, almost like it's a law of physics, like gravity. You can't fight it. But what if that's not true? What if that whole story is just a myth? And that's precisely the question we're diving into today through the work of economist Thomas Piketty. His whole argument is that this massive inequality we see, it's not like gravity at all. It's a choice we make. See, Piketty's big idea is that this extreme inequality, it's not some kind of bug in the system. It's a feature. It's something we've actively designed over decades through our political and ideological choices. I mean, think about it. Our tax laws, regulations, what we decide to invest in as a society, these are all conscious decisions. We'd have literally built the machine that produces this result. And you know what the most incredible part of that is? If we built it, we can absolutely rebuild it. Okay, so if we can choose something else, what would that actually look like? The cool thing about Piketty's work is that he doesn't just criticize the current system and leave it at that. He actually offers a blueprint for what a new one could be. He calls this new system participatory socialism. It's his vision for moving beyond what he calls hypercapitalism, which is basically capitalism on steroids, obsessed only with profit. And hey, let's be super clear right up front. This is not your granddad socialism. We're not talking about some top-down, state-controlled thing from the last century. Not at all. This is a vision for an economy that's actually democratic, where power is shared, and where the goal isn't just making a few people rich, but creating a good, sustainable life for everybody. So how would something like that actually work? Well, let's look at the engine of the whole system, the corporation. Right now, who calls the shots? It's the shareholders, the people who own the capital. They have all the power. Piketty's proposal is pretty radical, but it's also really simple. What if the workers, the people actually doing the work, had just as much power? He suggests splitting the voting rights on company boards 50-50 between workers and shareholders. Just imagine how that would fundamentally change what a company's priorities are. Okay, check out this number, 120,000 euros. Now, what is that? It's not a lottery jackpot. It's another one of Piketty's big, concrete ideas for completely redesigning the system from the ground up. He calls it a universal capital endowment, and the idea is breathtakingly simple. Give every single person a big chunk of capital, that 120,000 euros, on their 25th birthday. Why? Well, it's about fixing the starting line of life. Right now, something like half the population starts with basically nothing. This would give everyone a real stake, a foundation to build on. Imagine what you could do with that. Start a business, buy a home, get an education without being buried in debt. It's a total game changer. All right, the big question, right? How would we ever pay for something like that? It's not about just printing money. It's about rethinking taxes. The money would come from a progressive annual tax on property and a progressive tax on huge inheritances. Progressive just means the more you have, the higher percentage you pay. The key here isn't to punish success, is to get wealth circulating again, instead of letting it pile up in one spot forever. So to really let this whole idea sink in, this idea that inequality is a choice, let's use a quick metaphor. It makes it really clear. Just imagine our whole economy is one giant complex game. But there's a catch. The players who've been winning for a long time have gotten so powerful that they get to rewrite the rules of the game while they're still playing. They can change the rules about taxes, about labor, about everything to make sure they keep on winning. It's not even cheating anymore. They've literally changed the rulebook to favor their own team, making it almost impossible for anyone else to catch up. And once you see it that way, as a game with rules that people wrote, everything changes, doesn't it? It means we don't have to put up with a rigged game. We can actually demand a new set of rules. The whole conversation shifts from, oh, well, that's just how it is, to, okay, so how do we actually want it to be? And this is why Piketty's work is so important. He's basically saying that it's not enough to just point out that the system is broken. If you want real change, you have to offer a clear, compelling alternative. You have to give people a vision of a different world they can actually believe in and work towards. So that really leaves us all with a pretty powerful thought, doesn't it? the way our economy is structured, the insane levels of inequality, even the future of our environment. These aren't just things that happen to us. They are the results of choices. And if that's true, then the only real question left is, what are we going to choose next? Everything we've talked about in this quick rundown comes from the book Time for Socialism by Thomas Piketty. If any of this has sparked your interest, we really encourage you to grab a copy or borrow it from your local library to dive way deeper into these ideas. For the full, long-form deep dive into this book and its ideas, follow the link in the description. If you enjoy systems-level analysis like this, please subscribe and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.